problem 88, merge sorted array. So for this problem, we are giving two integer arrays nums1 and nums2 sorted in non-decreasing order. As we can see that it is increasing 1, 2, 3, and 0 means there's no such numbers. Yeah, so 0 just means an empty position. So for nums2 we have 2, 5, and 6. And what are we gonna do? We are also giving two integers m and n, representing the number of elements in nums1 and nums2. So this means in nums1 there are going to be 3 elements, and in nums2 there are going to be 3 elements. So we need to merge the nums1 and nums2 into a single array sorted in non-decreasing order. So after merging, it's going to still be in increasing order. So it's going to be something like 1, 2, 2, 3, 5, and 6. So the final sorted array should not be returned by the function. We don't need to have a return for the function, as we can see that it is void. We don't need to have any return, but instead be sorted inside of the array nums1. So this means we just need to make it in place. We just need to put all the numbers in nums2 into nums1, and we don't need to have a return. To accommodate this, nums1 has a length of, we should know that nums1 have a length of m plus n. So for example, this is m, this is n, so the result is 6, m plus n, it is 6, so this is the length of the nums1. So when the first m elements donated the elements, that should be merged, and the last n elements are set to 0. So this means the first are set, and after that, the elements are gonna set to 0. So the 0 should be ignored, and nums2 has a length of n. Yeah. If we understand all about it, now we need to find a way to solve the problem. Yeah. So we can solve it by using two pointers. So we need to define a position. So this is gonna be a position. It's gonna be pointed to the last number of nums1. Actually, it is not last number. It is after sorting all the nums. So this is gonna be the last number. Maybe here or maybe here. We don't know. But how can we decide it? Which one gonna be the last position, last index? So it is m plus n because there are 6 elements. So the index is gonna be 5. So m plus n minus 1 gonna be the position. We need to put this element inside nums1, and then we just need to find the pointer for nums1 and nums2, and we're gonna compare them together. And we should know how to merge the two arrays in increasing order. We just need to compare the element 3 less than 5, so this means at this position we're gonna have a 6. Yeah, and then we're gonna shift the pointer to this position, and we're gonna compare the next one. 5 and 3, 5 is bigger, so 5 gonna be here, and we're gonna shift the pointer to this position. It's gonna be 2. 2 and 3, 3 is bigger, 3 gonna be here. We're gonna shift the pointer. So now after that it's gonna be 2, 2, 1. So this is the final result of nums1, and we just need to solve it like that. So we're gonna define a position. It's gonna be m plus n minus 1. Because that's going to be all the elements, because this position is just a pointer, just an index. Now we're going to define I and j. So I going to be m minus 1, and j going to be n minus 1. So we need to use a while loop to check. So while I more than 0 and j more than 0. So what are we going to do? And we just need to check which one is bigger. If the nums1, let's say, if nums1 I is more than nums2 j, so this means nums1 I is bigger. So we need to put it inside the nums1's position. So inside the position, it's going to be nums1 I. Yeah. So after that, we need to update the index of I, because we've already assigned a value. And similarly, we're gonna check the else condition. So it means nums1 position gonna equal to nums2 j, and j gonna use minus minus. So after that, position gonna minus minus. Yeah. So this is the basic idea, but it is not okay. Because in the first example and the second example, it is okay. But what about the third example? Inside of the third example, n minus 1 going to be -1. We will never execute these areas. So this means the final result is going to be a 0 instead of 1. But we need to put 1 inside. Because in this testing case, it means m equals to 0. So inside of nums1, there's 0 element. But inside of nums2, there's 1 element. We just need to put this 1 element inside of nums1. Yeah. But currently, this I is less than 0. This means we will never execute the while loop. This means our while loop is not right. But let me just run it first to check if it works. As you can see, we passed for testing case 1 and 2, but we cannot pass for testing case 3. This is because the while loop is wrong. Instead of getting 1, we are just getting a 0 because we never execute the while loop. But how can we let it execute? So this is the idea we just need to solve. So we need to check the condition if I is less than 0. So this means we need to put all the elements inside nums2 to nums1. So this is going to be another while loop. Yeah. So we're going to directly use while j more than or equal to 0. So let me just copy the code from here. So nums1's position going to be equal to nums2j and j minus minus and position minus minus. Yeah. Now let me just run it. As you can see, we passed for all testing cases. At least we passed the testing case 3, and now let me just submit it. Yeah. As you can see, it passed for all testing cases, and it's pretty fast. But as you can see, the coding, it is not good because there are so many lines of code. Maybe it is not good for reading. So we just need to simplify the coding a little bit. So here, inside of the while loop, we don't need to use this I more than or equal to 0. Because if j is more than 0, we can check it inside the if check. We're going to check it from here. Yeah. So if I more than or equal to 0 and nums1 more than nums3, we're going to update from here. Yeah, because definitely we are sure everything is all the index are going to be inbound. It will not go out of the index. So nums1 more than nums3. Yeah. So because here j more than or equal to 0, here I more than or equal to 0, and here we're going to compare it, and we're going to update it, right? The else condition is maybe I is less than 0. Inside of example 3, we can see that. Or maybe nums1 is more than or equal to 0, or maybe nums1 is less than or equal to nums2. We're going to still update it like here. So we just need to change 2 lines of code, and we just need to delete these areas, so everything should be okay. Now let me just run it. Now as you can see, it works. Now let me just submit it. Yeah, as you can see, it works, but the coding is much better. I think that's all about it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.